Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Say his name and heel appears. In order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. What is going on, guys? How you guys doing tonight? This is the Club of the Man 1993. We are live on this Thursday evening for my live preview and predictions for this weekend's WWE Premium Live event. It's going to be a big one because it is the debut and pay-per-view or premium live event on ESPN, ESPN Unlimited, ESPN Plus, ESPN, whatever you want to call it, not regular ESPN, but on the ESPN app, whatever you want to call it, for the first time, it's going to be WWE's Wrestlepalooza 2025. That's right, it takes place this coming Saturday, September 20th, 2025, at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's the second pay-per-view that Indy is getting this year. They already got the Royal Rumble at the beginning of the year, and now they are getting Wrestlepalooza, which is, again, is a big show and is again the first pay-per-view to take place on the new ESPN deal that WWE has signed for its premium live events. How I'm going to watch it Saturday, I'm still trying to figure it out right now. Actually, though, I will not be watching it live on Saturday. I was asked to do something else Saturday night, so I will catch Wrestlepalooza either when I get home that night or Sunday to catch up on the show. So definitely do not send me any spoilers. But we're going to take a look back at everything that's happening so far on the card. I say so far as the last couple pay-per-views, WWE has thrown in maybe like one or two additional matches. So far, we have 5 matches on this Wrestlepalooza card. I feel like there could be 1, maybe 2 more added to this. Both of them from SmackDown. We could possibly see, based off of how the match ended last week, a triple threat between Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax, and Jade Cargill maybe for the Women's Championship. I kind of hope not, because again, look, I'm going to forever praise Evolution this year. Evolution, to me, is still the best pay-per-view of 2025, in my opinion. It definitely proved once and for all, if you give these women the time, take the cuffs off, let them do their thing, they can be draws. And I just still feel like, though, the Raw Women's division is really heating up. SmackDown's, though, it's just the same thing, and all we're getting is Tiffany Stratton and some version of her and Nia Jax. And although it worked when it happened, I'm pretty much over it. So I'm hoping to move on from that. But I wouldn't be surprised if that match got added, or they could add in the tag title match with the Wyatt Six and Mello Don't Miz. With how big this show is going to be for WWE, especially since at first it was countering AEW All Out, but Tony Khan decided to move that to earlier in the day at 3 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock when it was supposed to take place, as WWE wanted to go head-to-head with them for All Out, which, no offense, All Out has absolutely no prayer against Wrestlepalooza, because Wrestlepalooza's card is definitely much more interesting than All Out for sure. I said it, a lot of people always say it. It's true. So, I don't know. Like I said, and it also, again, too, just the fact that this is the first show on the ESPN deal as well, too, is also a big deal. Why they would, of course, have a match of John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. 2 well-known names outside of the WWE for sure, as they both have their successes outside. I'm still not going to lie. Well, we'll get to that match in just a second. Because this afternoon, we had some breaking news. Because originally, myself, and I'm sure every one of you and their mamas, thought that we were going to be main eventing the show this Saturday with John Cena and Brock Lesnar. Well, it turns out, according to Pat McAfee, he says that match is going to be opening the show. So I'm hoping that means the mixed tag match with CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. I'm hoping that is the main event. Because I feel like they would either do that, or you never know, they could do Cody and Drew. Personally, I still think that mixed tag match is the biggest draw of this show. That should main event the show, in my opinion. So yeah, when we get to the predictions in just a second, we are going to talk about John Cena and Brock Lesnar first, as that match is supposed to be opening up the show. And again, I'm definitely surprised by that, but we will talk about it. So first, let's check our live chat and see who we got here. We've got we got Tyler in our live chat. Thank you, Tyler, saying put Charlotte and Alexa in that women's title scene. They could soon. We'll see. AEW All Out don't need that many matches. Yeah, how many matches does that card have? And like almost none of them to me are interesting at all. Especially when a show is being headlined by Hangman Adam Page and the man that Tony Khan loves so much that you just want to tell him to get a room with him, Kyle Fletcher, although that might make Sky Blue unhappy because Kyle Fletcher, I believe, lives with Sky Blue. I believe there's still a couple, as far as I know. But yeah, Tony Khan has a huge obsession with Kyle Fletcher. I don't hate Kyle Fletcher, but he's definitely not as big of a deal as they make it seem like he is right now. I'm sorry, he's not. But yeah, the fact that that's being headlined by that, yeah, I'm good. I'm not watching All Out. I can't remember tell you the last time I did watch All Out. Probably 2022's All Out's the last one I watched the whole thing of. I watched two matches from last year's, the street fight with Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander, excellent match, and the Lights Out Steel Cage match with Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. I watched both those matches, but that was it. Tyler Tell just Alex made a video on him not watching All Out. I did watch that video this afternoon while I was driving home from. Well, I listened to it while I was driving home from work, but yes, I do agree as well. I'm not going to be watching either. And Punk and Rollins is the feud of the year. It definitely is for sure. And we're going to talk about that, of course, right here in just a few minutes, as we're going to preview Wrestlepalooza 2025. So like I said before, there are 5 matches on this card. They could add possibly 2 more, which again, I'm surprised they didn't have like 6 or 7 based off of how big this show is, especially if it's going to be, you know, like a big drawing show to see how well this ESPN app is going to do for business for WWE right now. So it definitely is a good test of that. But like I said before, the 2 matches that I can see them possibly adding to the show. Again, the first one is a triple threat with Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax, and Jade Cargill. If that match happened, it's kind of tough to say. I feel like Nia would take the pin in the match. I feel like there's a good chance if they did that, they may put the belt on Jade. And just have Nia being there to eat the pin to protect the other person, just take the loss. That is if that happens. I think they might finally put the belt on Jade. I still don't think Jade is ready, if I'm being honest, but she has been getting better. Again, I did like the match that her and Tiffany had last week on SmackDown. 10 times better than their SummerSlam match. But I think it's either Tiffany's going to retain or Jade is going to win the title, but either one of them is going to pin Nia if that match even happens. And the Wyatt Six and Mello Don't Miz, I think Mello Don't Miz wins the titles there. I think they're going to have a brief run with them before they do split them up. As, of course, obviously Miz is trying to, you know, have Carmelo Hayes not focus on singles glory and then be a tag team. Obviously, he doesn't want to be outshined. And, you know, just that simple story that's working very well, and I think is eventually going to lead to Carmelo Hayes turning babyface, as he should at this point, in my opinion. But those are the 2 matches that, again, if they happen, that's what I can see happening. So, to the main card, let's look at the main card. That's official. So like I said, it was announced today on the Pat McAfee show that John Cena and Brock Lesnar, the match that I thought that all of us thought was going to main event Wrestlepalooza, is actually opening up the show. I don't know if this is because, both Brock and John or one of them have somewhere to be or what the idea is, but yes, that match is opening up Wrestlepalooza. Again, I am surprised. Even though I don't like the build for it, it's been treated like the big marquee money match. Or maybe WWE has finally, it was finally realizing that the match that truly was drawing the show was the mixed tag match and the AJ Lee return, because everybody wants to see that and not John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Look, I'm not going to lie. I've somewhat gotten over the fact that they did turn John Cena back to being a face, even though I still hate how abrupt it was. Part of me still is mad that he's still not a heel. I know he only has 5 dates left after this pay-per-view, something like that. I get that the fans don't want to boo him, they want to cheer him, but again, be honest, really. This is all just nostalgia the rest of the way. At least when John Cena was a heel, he had a direction. He had that story of where he wasn't winning any matches, so he was desperate to hold on to his fame just for a little bit longer and try to leave with the championship so he can get payback on, the wrong he had been done for the longest time. But it is what it is. If they really wanted to have that run with John Cena, being, who he was for how many years and, having people going to cheer him, I'd rather have it now when his dates are very numbered. His matches on pay-per-views, if he has matches at all the pay-per-views left he's booked for, which of course Wrestlepalooza is one of them. He is also booked for Crown Jewel, Survivor Series, and Saturday Night's Main Event in December. That will be, again, his final match. That's in Washington, D.C., by the way. It's not in Boston, it's in Washington, D.C. That I don't understand either, but what do I know? But, I still gotta ask, though, why is Brock Lesnar attacking John Cena? I mentioned this a week or two ago. It's if they want me to care somewhat about this match, they gotta have Brock give a reason. And I don't know what it is, but ever since Brock Lesnar turned heel the night after WrestleMania 39 on Cody Rhodes, he's been a guy of very few words. He doesn't explain his actions, and his stories are just boring. And he's been gone for 2 years, and it comes back, and it feels like he just picked it up right where he left off. He even, of course, shook Cody's hand when Cody beat him at SummerSlam in 2023. I was there live for that. So I don't like how, they're not even, giving us a story. And they're trying to rely on their rivalry, which, yes, they've had their shares of matches over the years. But is this really one of John Cena's most talked about rivals? Talked about moments? It's really not, to be honest. And again, this dynamic is just boring. And I get why they're doing it. It's for their first ESPN show. Even the WWE, of course, isn't actually a sports, company. They still are trying to give that sports feel to it. I get it. I get it why they think of this as a marquee match, because of the two names are involved. There are people who have done stuff outside of the WWE that can draw in names. But quite frankly, I don't expect this match to be that special. I think because of John Cena been wrestling still pretty good, I think he could put on a good match with Brock. But I don't, again, they haven't given me much of a reason to care, to get invested. Again, why is Brock targeting John Cena? He has not given a reason whatsoever. And that bothers me. I don't like that they're doing that again. But in all honesty, I think Brock wins. And I'm also glad that they're getting this over with now, and they're not saving it for Cena's last match. I don't want John Cena's last match to be Brock Lesnar. Please. I would say right now, the two people I would love to see be John Cena's last match, well, I'll get 3. I'll throw in Braun Breaker. That's 1. The second person, LA Knight, I think should be a good number 2 pick. Or my number 1 for for choice for John Cena's last opponent, Joe Hendry. Again, don't make it Brock Lesnar. I'm glad they got Logan Paul over with. That was fine. I didn't hate it, but, obviously, it's just like, I wish they could have been, having him fight someone a little more, that people want to actually see put over on his way out or make look good in some ways. So, I don't know. So, I'm going to, but I think Brock's going to win this. And I hope John doesn't try to go after Brock and try to get another match with him. I pray to God they don't do that. Because I don't see John beating Brock. I really don't. But we'll see how this goes. Again, it's going to open the show. It's going to get out of the way. And it's not going to be, a match you have to wait till the end of the night. We're all dragged out by then for it. So that's my first prediction, is that Brock Lesnar will win the opening match of the show with John Cena. The second match is the Usos versus the Vision. There was 2 tag matches, this and the mixed tag match. I'm not gonna lie, I was hoping for one of them to have a stipulation, like a no holds barred, falls count anywhere, extreme rules, something like that match, but neither one at this time currently do. I guess that is okay. Personally, the Vision need this victory. They haven't really had any big pay-per-view wins yet as a group. They should have won at SummerSlam. I also would have liked to have seen Bronson Reed beat Roman Reigns, even though I basically knew from the get-go Bronson Reed was not going to beat Roman Reigns, but, I still had my hopes up a wee bit. But, again, I gotta say, the thing I'm a little more interested in right now is what's going on with Jey Uso and LA Knight. This interesting, I think they're trying to keep a face-on-face rivalry, but it's heating up big time, and it's making both their characters a little more interesting. So even though there's 3 matches where I could see maybe some heel interference or a heel turn or something happening, I'm still going to mention them in each one of them, and this is one of them. I do feel like LA Knight's going to get involved in this match, and he's going to inadvertently cost them their match to the Vision. Be a great match. I can't say the Usos are going to be a long-term thing, as I still feel like, whether he's a face or if he is full on going heel, I still feel like Jey has so much more to offer as a single star. And I still think that Jimmy Uso should get his shot as a single star as well and to really stand out as well too. So I hope that happens for them eventually. Probably not yet here, of course, if they end up losing. And of course, we're going to probably have more focus on Jey and LA Knight and see where that goes. So I'm interested to see where that goes for sure as well. But the Vision, they need this victory right here. Just saying. So that's that match. Then after that, I'm pretty sure we're going to get the vacated Women's World Championship match. Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer. Which, again, is an interesting match because they've had 2 matches on Raw so far, and both of them have not had a conclusive finish. Which, that, of course, makes things very interesting for sure, as to when they finally come down to it, when it really counts, who is, in fact, going to beat the other person. Well, I'm not going to lie, I'm back and forth on this. My big impact on these world title matches at WrestlePalooza is I still have no idea what they're doing for Crown Jewel. Are they going to do, have the champions defend their titles? Or are they going to have the Crown Jewel Championship like last year? That was not made clear to me. So, if that is the case, then I personally think they could do another title match with Io and Rhea at Crown Jewel if they're not going to do the Crown Jewel Championship match. Because Australia is Rhea's home country. They also do not have to have the title involved. But either way, though, I think we will see the Kabuki Warriors get involved. And I would like to kind of think, I'm going to lean towards they have Io retain thanks to help from the Kabuki Warriors. Heck, they could even swerve us to have Io go full on heel or whatnot to gang up on Stephanie Vaquer. Although, again, I wouldn't mind Stephanie winning the world title. I do feel like she's someone that you could trust and put the rocket ship onto her and she will knock it out of the park. But, again, it just depends on, of course, for the Crown Jewel Championship. Are they doing that? Again, like I said, if they're not doing that, I do think they'll have Io win here and then she'll drop it to Rhea at Crown Jewel. Or like I said, too, they could still do Io versus Rhea, just no title at Crown Jewel, since it is going to be in Perth, Rhea's home country. But I think it's going to be Io, thanks to the Kabuki Warriors retaining her championship for her. So there's that match. I'm going to kind of flying through here, but, you know, it is what it is. The next match. What's I have next? Oh, the undisputed WWE Championship match between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. I don't care. I'm sorry. I do not care about this match whatsoever. Boys, shut up. And the reason why is because the story is just meh. Drew McIntyre attacked Cody Rhodes. Don't mention the fact that Drew McIntyre is one of the very few people that have beaten Cody Rhodes since Cody came back. Just saying. But all it basically was, you know, Cody hit me, I hit him back. What's the medical update? As all we've been really getting. So, and then Cody's been gone for a few weeks because of the birth of his second daughter. So they haven't given me another match where I haven't been given, I think it's going to be good on paper, but nothing too much the fact that I can believe that maybe they're going to give the belt to Drew here. I would love for him to give the belt to Drew here, because I feel like he's deserved it after everything he's, you know, done the past year or so. But I still think the safe bet is Cody retaining on this. I would love to see Drew get his hands back on that title, but I think it's going to be Cody, if I'm being honest. And then finally, the main event. The match that should main event the show. Seth Rollins and AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. This build has been outstanding. Again, I am so happy. WWE did a hard tease on us about the idea of AJ Lee coming back. And instead of poking around and fumbling, they brought her right in. And like I said, she has been basically like sunk her teeth back into the character. So good so that you would not have known she was gone, if I'm being real. So I am definitely looking forward to see how she does. I know the ring rust may play into effect, but it's going to happen. Again, the jabs these four have taken at each other are just absolutely outstanding stuff. You can tell, again, they're having a bunch of fun with this. But if I had to pick a winner, it would have to be Seth. Not Seth. CM Punk and AJ Lee. Why would you bring them back? We'll bring AJ Lee back just to lose. I feel like that's kind of like, you know, because obviously the feud's going to continue. We're going to definitely have singles matches between Becky and AJ, and one more match with Seth and Punk. Maybe Hell in a Cell. People are saying, who knows? But where's I going with this here now? But yeah, I just feel like, you know, it would be ridiculous to have them lose in AJ's first match back and not go over. But you never know what could happen. Like I said, WWE for a little bit this summer was kind of feel like they're doing like the safe routes with everything. Now, like the past couple weeks on Raw especially, I feel like they're kind of like getting their grits back. So I'm not gonna, you know, hold, you know, the idea of like some of these matches possibly having like, you know, some heelish endings. Like I think I talked about in Cody's match. The only way I think Drew could win this match possibly is if Randy Orton shows up and turns on Cody Rhodes. Because, you know, they have, guys, shut up. You know, they have been having off and on throughout the year Randy Orton teasing going to that darker side. Somehow he's resisted all this time, just saying. But usually when he does, you know, get in that darker side, there's no stepping out. So, you know, Randy getting involved could be him playing the mind games to get one more step closer to Cody Rhodes. But I could be wrong about that too. Who knows? But that's going to do it here, guys. I know this is like quick preview and predictions. But again, I have Brock Lesnar beating John Cena. I have The Vision beating the Usos. Io Sky beats Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World title. Cody Rhodes retains his title. And Seth Rollins and CM Punk win the mixed tag match. Again, that should main event the show. All right, check my live chat. Then I'm getting out of here because I'm starting to get a little bit tired. He's joined us as well, Tia Couponer. Still not know why Brock is back. He overstayed his welcome since 2021. I know. I hope Styles is Cena's final match. Again, that would be awesome, but I feel like it's not going to be because Cena has done like some moves of like some of his best matches he's had in the ring, and one of them was the Styles Clash shit on Hill Logan Paul. So it'd be nice to see Cena and Styles one more time, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. Let me see here. great list for Cena's final match. Thank you very much. Looking forward to Stephanie versus Io. That will be awesome, and I think Asuka will cost. Yes, I do agree. And worried that Rhea is going to be champion again just to keep her away from the belts. It may happen, unfortunately, buddy. It may happen. What if Rhea and Io become a team and rival against the Kabuki Warriors? They go after the tag titles. Maybe they could. Who knows how that's going to work there. A's going back to work. Nice. What if Drew wins because Randy turns on Cody? Again, that is very, very possible. But again, like I said, we'll see if they strike on that or not. I've been waiting for sure for Randy to feud with Nick Aldis, as he seems to have, been pissed off at him a lot for some of his shortcomings, but, hasn't happened yet. And Kyle Fletcher is a poor man's Randy Orton AEW. Yeah, I've heard the rumored, comparisons to Randy Orton, but again, I just still don't see it for Kyle Fletcher, to be honest. But yeah, that's going to do it for my preview, guys. Again, since this feels like the past few ones, the card wasn't officially structured, these previews, I'm just going to have this type of a structure, and we'll just, continue on from there. And again, just look forward to stay tuned as always for more content on my channel, guys. Make sure you guys your thoughts down in the comment section below. What matches are you most excited for sure for Wrestlepalooza? Slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content to come on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well, the Club of the Man 93, and on TikTok and Instagram, Club Man 93. I'm checking out, guys. I'm tired. Have a great night. In order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah.